Creating a smooth transition between colors with pastels, especially when blending, can be a bit challenging but very rewarding when you are doing it the right way. In this video, I'm going to share 6 tips and tricks that help me to achieve a flawless and smooth transition between colors in my pastel drawings, and that are going to help you too for sure. That's what makes pastels so wonderful. The ability to create these smooth transitions between colors that gives your artwork a breathtaking effect. With that being said, tip number 1. Use quality pastels. Start with high quality soft pastels. They tend to be more vibrant and easier to blend and have better pigments, which are essential for smooth transitions. If you use very cheap sets intended for kids to play with, you'll never be able to achieve the same effect as with high quality pastels. Quality pastels contain much stronger pigments that will considerably ease the process of creating these fine transitions because they blend with other colors much more easily and quickly. Tip number 2. Paper choice. Use a textured or sanded paper that can grip the pastel, making it easier to blend. Pastels certainly won't work as effectively on any type of paper other than the one specifically intended for it, especially the highly textured paper. The quality of the paper also plays a very significant role. Depending on the brand, each paper may have more or less tooth in its composition. I use Clairefontaine Pastel Matte, which in my opinion is the best pastel paper on the market. It has a velvety texture while also providing enough tooth to grip the pastel effectively. The quality of the paper is crucial because the very best ones have the capacity to absorb a lot more pastel pigment. This allows the colors to blend much more rapidly and smoothly, and all that pigment in the paper's texture will mix and create a very smooth effect. Tip number 3. Layering and gradation. Begin with the lightest color and gradually build up to the darkest color. This ensures a smoother transition. Apply light pressure initially and increase it as you layer. This is very important because the harder you press, the more intense the colors will be. When you want to create a gradient from dark to light, for example, you want the illuminated area to be as light as possible and the shaded area as dark as possible. This principle applies when you're combining any type of color. The ones I'm using in this video are yellow, red and purple. Normally, you start with yellow, then you move on to red, and finally apply the purple to create a pleasing gradient for the eye. Where these colors meet, new colors will be created, resulting in that gradient effect, a bit like the colors of the sunset. When you look at the sunset, you may not see the transition between the colors, but you can see the prominent colors. That's why I recommend to be careful with your application and exercise a lot. Tip number 4. Direction of strokes. Pay attention to the direction of your strokes. For a smoother transition, use soft, circular or sweeping motions. Avoid harsh or choppy lines. This is a very important tip because by making this motion when applying the pastel to the paper, the pigments will be distributed evenly on its surface, ensuring you have the same amount of pastel everywhere. If you use linear movements from top to bottom with heavy pressure, you'll notice that these lines may still be visible even after you attempt to blend them. That's why I strongly recommend using only light, circular motions. Tip number 5. Overlapping colors. Before I start talking about this tip, I want to mention that at one point you are going to see that I'm going to blend using my fingers. I know and understand that many people say it's not recommended to use your fingers when blending with pastels. However, if you clean your fingers well before using them to remove natural skin oils, you won't contaminate the pastels. If these oils come into contact with the pastel, the crystals in the pastel's composition that give it that vibrancy may become dull and it's going to lose its bright colors. I find that I work much better this way when creating a gradient or a background to achieve a very smooth transition. Sometimes I try to blend using other tools, but they tend to move the pastel around on the paper instead of pushing the pigment into the paper. When I use my fingers to blend, everything looks much smoother. Now, getting back to this tip, you have to overlap the colors you want to blend slightly. This ensures that the colors mix together and create a seamless transition. As I mentioned earlier in this video, when you combine colors, they will create new colors where they meet. That's why it's essential not to apply too much pressure at the point where the colors find each other. If you are being gentle, the colors will blend seamlessly and that harsh line between them will disappear, creating a very satisfying effect in the end. Tip number 6. Practice, practice, practice. And this brings us to my last and most important, long-lasting piece of advice, which is practicing. Achieving very good transitions between colors with pastels can take quite a bit of time and practice. Be patient with yourself and allow time for experimentation and learning. Even if it doesn't work out the first time, don't give up. You'll find that over time, you're going to learn from your mistakes and you're going to know what not to do next time when you're trying that thing again. In the end, you're going to be able to create amazing transitions and wonderful backgrounds in your pastel drawings. Believe me, it will be all worth it in the end. Now that you are finished watching this video, go to work and put all of these tips into practice. Don't leave for tomorrow what you can do today. Please write in the comments below if my tips helped you to achieve a very smooth transition between colors and let me know how it all went. As always, I would be very thrilled to have you as a part of my subscribers team and those who see my videos first by clicking the bell button. Thank you for watching and I'm looking forward to see you in my next videos as well. Bye!